Good evening, I'm Prasad Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Malaysia now has over 3,000 active Covid-19 cases, an all-time high. The number of active Covid-19 cases in Malaysia has now breached the 3,000 mark, with 489 new infections reported today. Of the 489 new cases, 487 were local transmissions and the remaining 2 were imported cases. Most of the local cases were reported in Sabah with 282 cases, followed by Kedah with 153 cases. With 74 recoveries today, there are 3,351 active cases being treated at healthcare facilities in the country, an all-time high. Meanwhile, 4 districts, Klang in Peninsular Malaysia, Sandakan, Papar and Tuaran in Sabah, have been placed under a conditional movement control order to curb the spread of COVID-19. Beginning this Friday, only essential services and International Trade and Industry Ministry approved manufacturers will be allowed to operate in these 4 districts. Travel in and out of these areas will be restricted. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. operating hours will apply to eateries, pharmacies and convenience stores, while taxi and e-hailing services and petrol stations can only operate until 8 p.m. All pasar harian will be allowed to operate from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m, while all other types of markets, including tamu and pasar malam, will be temporarily banned. Those wishing to work or travel must obtain permission from the police beforehand. Travel is only allowed for emergencies and official duties. The government has yet to set an expiry date for the order. The Prime Minister is in good health and all his COVID-19 tests have come out negative so far, but he will remain in self-quarantine. The Prime Minister's office has confirmed that Muhydin Yassin has tested negative for COVID-19. The test on Muhydin was carried out on October 5th and the negative result was out on October 6th. The PMO added that the Prime Minister also took 3 other COVID-19 tests in the last 3 weeks, which were on September 22nd, 26th and the 29th. He tested negative on all 3. But this does not mean he'll be out of his quarantine. He will continue to self-quarantine for 14 days as advised by the Health Ministry, though the PMO said at the moment his health is in good condition. His office also clarified that he was not given a surveillance bracelet by the Health Ministry. This was in response to allegations on social media that the Prime Minister had violated the directive by not wearing a pink bracelet during his live broadcast on Tuesday. Muhydin was ordered to self-quarantine after Religious Affairs Minister Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri tested positive for COVID-19. Muhydin had chaired a special National Security Council meeting attended by Zulkifli on October 3rd. Other cabinet ministers present included Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz, Health Minister Dr. Adham Baba, Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob, International Trade and Industry Minister Muhammad Azmin Ali, Works Minister Fadila Yusof, and Education Minister Radzi Jidin. Among top civil servants in attendance at the meeting included Health Director General Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah and Inspector General of Police Abdul Hamid Badr. The home surveillance order for them will expire on October 16th. Prime Minister Muhydin wasn't joking about the Rotan when he said it yesterday. Cops have been empowered to issue compounds on the spot. Individuals who breach COVID-19 prevention procedures can now be issued compound notices on the spot by the police. This was announced by Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob during a press conference this evening.
Bagi mempermudahkan urusan dan kerja pihak PDRM di lapangan, maka Jabatan Peguam Negara telah pun membenarkan pihak PDRM untuk mengeluarkan kompaun serta-merta di lapangan kepada individu yang melanggar SOP, dan kompaun serta-merta ini boleh dikeluarkan oleh anggota PDRM berpangkat inspektor ke atas. Jadi jika sebelum ini individu yang melanggar SOP ditahan dan dibawa ke balai polis untuk dikeluarkan kompaun, jadi mulai hari ini dan seterusnya kompaun akan dikeluarkan di lapangan di tempat kejadian berlaku.
Recently, several individuals arrested for allegedly breaching procedures had raised their complaint on social media over the way the police handled their cases. They claimed that the authorities had further exposed suspects to the risk of COVID-19 infection as they were taken on police vehicles in large groups and made to wait at police stations without physical distancing. Meanwhile, according to Ismail Sabri, the police yesterday arrested a total of 357 individuals for various offences related to SOP compliance. The police probe into Khairuddin's quarantine breach continues, and the nation's number 2 cop says it's not about how long it takes. Prime Minister Muhydin Yassin spoke at length yesterday about how there will be no double standards when it comes to enforcing rules meant to curb the spread of Covid-19.
Jika ada yang melanggar undang-undang, hukuman kompaun dan lain-lain akan dikenakan tanpa mengira pangkat dan darjat. Maaflah jika Abah ini mula menggunakan rotan sekarang.
Incidentally, today there was an update on the probe into Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Khairuddin Aman Razali's breach of his quarantine order. However, it appears the probe has yet to be concluded. This was the exchange between reporters and the Deputy IGP at a press conference in Kuala Lumpur this morning.
Datuk Seri, update on kes Menteri Khairuddin dan Datuk Khairuddin.
Jadi saya baru diberitahu bahawa kes kertas siasatan mengenai kes YB Menteri tersebut telah pun diturunkan kepada pihak GSJ untuk beberapa tindakan lagi perlu diambil dalam usaha untuk kita mengemaskinkan siasatan sebelum kita akan serahkan balik kepada pihak Jabatan Pegawai Negara bagi susulan seterusnya.
Bila akan hantar laporan
ke mana?
Yang kes Khairuddin bila akan
kita baru terima semalam dia punya kertas siasatan daripada dikembalikan kepada kita.
Jadi ini kali berapa yang kembalikan? Sebab hari itu Dato' Huja pun kata sudah terima semula.
Jadi memang kalau kita dalam usaha kita membuat satu siasatan, kita akan mengumpulkan keterangan-keterangan. Bila keterangan-keterangan kita fikirkan telah mencukupi, kita akan rujuk kepada Pendakwa Raya kepada Jabatan Pegawai Negara. Mereka akan menyemak kes tersebut, keterangan-keterangan yang ada. Jika mereka fikirkan ada lagi perkara yang perlu diperjelaskan, yang perlu diambil kira, kadang-kadang berlaku dalam masa-masa tempoh tersebut, ada perkara-perkara baru timbul yang perlu diperjelaskan. So kita akan ambil tindakan susulan. Jadi berapa lama, berapa kali itu actually soalan tersebut immaterial.
Khairuddin, the Kuala Nerus MP for PAS, is being probed for violating quarantine orders after returning from a semi-official work trip to Turkey in July. In August, the Health Ministry slapped Khairuddin with a 1,000 ringgit fine. On September 30th, Bukit Aman CID Director Huzair Mohamed said the AGC had instructed the police to take several more actions on the investigation, and he expressed hope that the police would be able to fulfill the instructions soon. For the record, Khairuddin maintained he did not do anything wrong. Said Sadek, who is in the process of registering his new political party, has called for a pause of politicking. Former Youth and Sports Minister Said Sadek has called on politicians to come together to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. In a video posted on Twitter with the hashtag #PauseMalaysia, which started trending on the platform, Said Sadek also called on politicians to avoid any elections for now.
Bagi muda, kita ingin mencadang dan mendesak bukan saja bagi kerajaan tetapi juga bagi parti pembangkang untuk 3 perkara. Pertama, berhentilah politik perebutan kuasa. Sambil kita merebut takhta kuasa, rakyat terus sengsara. Yang kedua, hentikan niat untuk adakan pilihan raya umum atau pilihan raya negeri selagi kes COVID berleluasa. Ketiga, ini adalah masa untuk kerajaan dan pembangkang duduk semeja cari jalan penyelesaian bersama. It is a time for us to be united, to come together, to put Malaysia's interest first, not our own personal interest first.
In September, Said Sadek submitted for Muda to be officially registered as a political party. At the time, he confirmed that his new party was definitely planning to run for elections. However, he said it was too early for Muda to decide whether it will align with any existing coalition. Malaysia is currently grappling with its highest number of active COVID-19 cases on record, with 2,936 people being treated as of noon yesterday. The number of new active cases is expected to rise. Following the death of WK Liu, many have raised concerns that the COVID-19 situation in the country could worsen if another election is held. However, according to the EC, they are bound by the Constitution. The Election Commission says delaying the Batu Sapi by-election beyond 60 days would not be possible. Speaking to Malaysia Kini, EC Chief Abdul Ghani Saleh said, under the federal constitution, an election must be held within 60 days from the date when a seat is made vacant. The Batu Sapi seat fell vacant following the death of former de facto Law Minister Liew View Keong. Certain quarters have called the EC to postpone the by-election until the Covid-19 situation in the country improves. Ghani said they will have to conduct the election even during a pandemic. According to Ghani, EC had officially received the notice of the Batu Sapi parliamentary seat vacancy yesterday, and the commission would meet next week to discuss the election. His deputy Azmin also gave a similar answer when contacted, saying that they do not have any other option. EC's understanding of the matter was supported by constitutional expert Shad Salim Faruqi, who is a professor of law at University Malaya. According to him, the only circumstance when an election can be postponed beyond the 60-day period is during a state of emergency. Based on Malaysia Kini's calculation, the EC has to conduct the election to choose the next MP for the constituency, the latest by December 1st. Coming up next, we take a look at the winners of the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physics. Discoveries about one of the most exotic phenomena in the universe, the black hole, has earned 3 scientists a place in history. 3 scientists won the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physics on Tuesday for their work on black holes, one of the universe's most mysterious phenomena. Among them was the 4th woman ever to win the award.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2020 Nobel Prize in Physics with 1/2 to Roger Penrose for the discovery that black hole formation is a robust prediction of the general theory of relativity. And the other half, jointly to Andrea Ghez and Reinhard Genzel, for the discovery of a supermassive compact object at the center of our galaxy.
US scientist Andrea Ghez from the University of California, Los Angeles, shared a half of a $1.1 million prize with Germany's Reinhard Genzel, who works at Berkeley in the US. They discovered that an invisible and extremely heavy object governs the orbits of the stars at the center of our galaxy. Ghez is the 4th woman to win the physics prize. The first was Marie Curie in 1903. Genzel, meanwhile, was shocked by his win.
It's a remarkable state. I was completely flabbergasted because I surely had not expected it.
The other half of the prize was won by Britain's Roger Penrose, a professor from the University of Oxford. He was recognized for using mathematics to prove that black holes are a direct consequence of Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. Physics has dominated the spotlight at the Nobel Awards in previous years. Einstein himself won the Nobel Prize for his discoveries about the makeup of the universe. The award committee's David Haviland found findings made by this year's winners had broken new ground in the study of supermassive objects. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.